Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Walking Dead video for today, leading up to the 8th season for the Walking Dead TV series. In this one, first, we're going to give our thoughts on a who would win type of situation, which we can see starting in the trailer. Who would win between Morgan versus Jesus? And possible spoiler warning if you are not caught up for Walking Dead. And if you haven't seen the trailer for The Walking Dead Season 8, I assume you guys have pretty much all seen it at this point. We've made like a million videos on it. So, so just continuing right along with the Walking Dead videos. There is a new video from AMC, which I'm going to give my thoughts on in a couple minutes. In this video for the Walking Dead 100 episodes, our favorite memories from the first 99. So it's a pretty cool, promo clip, and I'll put a few minutes long. I'll put the link in the description for you guys to check that out. But for this one, for the trailer, we can see in the trailer that it looks like Morgan and Jesus are kind of fighting it out. We don't know what it's pertaining to. So we'll have to wait and see what causes that. Best prediction right now I can think of, and that I've seen in comments, is basically that Morgan must be going off his crazy train again, and and then maybe Jesus has got to try to bring him back in and get him back to focus on the mission. But unless Jesus has some kind of weapon, which I don't see much in the trailer for him, I think I'd have to go with Morgan if he's got the staff. Now if they both had a weapon, it might be closer, and then you might have to go with Jesus. Like if you give Jesus a sword or something. But in the TV series version, Morgan is just really, really cool with that staff, man. A lot better than the comic version. In the comics, he never really had like a weapon of choice, so to speak. The Walking Dead TV series does a really good job of really giving each character kind of their iconic weapon. For Michonne, for sure, it's the katana. For Rick, it's the Colt. In the comics, it was the axe or hatchet. Daryl's got the crossbow, and Morgan's got the staff. Jesus doesn't really have one yet, so I'd like to see either from him, something. Maybe they give him something like some kind of, knife or just something cool that he could use to kind of have a signature weapon of his own. In the comics, it'd probably say a sword would probably be most. Something you would think of most for him in weapons that he's used throughout the series. Comic version, I think it's a no-brainer. I think you got to go with Jesus over Morgan easily. TV series, trickier. I'll go with Morgan if he's given his staff. Hand-to-hand, maybe you go with Jesus as far as that goes if Morgan doesn't have his staff. But yeah, really been enjoying Morgan a lot in the series. Really like to see him use the staff. Is really cool. And, we're looking to see a bit more from Jesus. The TV series version of Jesus is he's not at the same level, I want to say, as the comic version. The TV series version for me seems more like a little sneaky guy that can kind of sneak around and is good at dodging and stuff like that. And with him and Daryl and the stuff that happens with that, and Rick and chasing him down and everything, and being on top of that little, was it van or truck they were in, that kind of thing. We haven't seen too much from him in the way of, fighting other survivors. So I'm looking forward to that. You've seen him kill a few zombies there in Season 7 when the hilltop was attacked by the zombies from the Saviors kind of allowing them in. But we haven't seen too much else. So for now, overall, TV series going with Morgan for the most part. Comic book series going with Jesus. But you guys can write your comments below. Let me know what you think. So for the Walking Dead 100 episodes, our favorite memories from the first 99. So it's a pretty fun clip. I looked through it. It's cool to see that AMC is kind of releasing some reflection videos on the first 99 episodes. Because, of course, Season 8's premiere is episode 100. So, can't wait to see that, obviously. And, this one is really well put together, I want to say. It's really good. Going from the beginning of the series, it's crazy how fast they go through it. I realize when I do my recaps, I really go into a lot of detail, because when you watch this, it's just, it's just a few like little clips and some of their favorite memories from the first 99. So a lot of it's positive moments, or it's really cool moments throughout the series. It's certain quotes that certain characters will say to others. I love how they start at the beginning with Rick, like right at the very beginning. And, really cool one to watch is the first time he meets Daryl, right? Because he's got this side, like he meets Daryl and he's like, he's not impressed at all, right? And then Daryl gives him shit because what happened with Merle, you handcuffed my brother to a roof and you left him there, right? So they didn't have a great first meeting, but it's just really cool to see how far those two have come in the series to the point where they consider each other as zombie apocalypse brethren. And, you get into all the stuff with season 1, and man, it's really cool. They go through it super quick. But some really fun ones in there, that just kind of stand out. Not much from the governor, but it's cool stuff with Merle and his first kind of, coming back again, getting to meet Michonne for the first time, getting to see the prison for the first time with Glenn and Maggie, and them kind of getting married and that whole kind of thing. Just really cool. And really loved Hershel's spotlight in this. Hershel was for me, was kind of an unsung star in this little favorite memories. He's got a nice voiceover at the end, which is really cool, talking about the situation and kind of the just nature and just the way things go, that they're getting beaten down, but they're going to build themselves back up, and they're gonna excel. They're gonna defeat Negan and the Saviors and that kind of thing. So it's kind of cool to see that. I like the question from Glenn, why the hair? And then Eugene, because I like it, right? He's got the sweet mullet. So that's just really funny. I like that one. That's a really good one. And at the end, of course, Glenn and Abraham, the world's going to change, right? And Abraham says, you're damn right it's going to. So, and that was so cool. I mean, even though we've seen all this stuff, right? You see, that's where great editing can come in. We've seen it all. But, a few times probably in a lot of these episodes, especially the first couple seasons. I mean, a lot of us have watched those so many times. But, an episode like that from season 5, I believe the Glenn and Abraham first half season 5 is where the scene is taken from. Not an episode that many of us watch that many times, probably over. We certainly don't talk about it that much, but it's really cool how great, how much that scene means when you see it. And you hear that line. It's just so cool, given the set of circumstances now. And that's one of the things I love most about The Walking Dead, and why it never really gets that drive for me. And it has some of the best replay value of any series ever, because each season, because of the nature of what it is, and I'm sure this just kind of happened by, I would say accident, but kind of by accident, is that retrospectively, when you look at the series, each season has its own characters. They have their own, like season 3 has a very different set of characters, like Merle, the governor, Andrea, all this stuff going on. And if you look at it now, it's just totally different, the focus and the characters that are in there. So, it really has like a special meaning each time you watch each season. You can watch the first half of season 5 now and get to see a scene like that between Glenn and Abraham and the things they said. And it just feels like it means so much more to us as viewers, because, of course, now both of them have been, brutally killed in the series. You're never going to see them again in the series, except for maybe some dream sequence or, hallucination, which they probably, for Abraham, they'll probably never do again. For Glenn, I hope they'll do at some point, and I think they probably will. But it's just really cool to get to go back and watch some of those prior seasons, because you don't have the same set of characters at all, and it really keeps the new seasons fresh, even though it's been over 7 years, 16 episodes a year since the early seasons, for the last, bunch of seasons. And, it just really gives it a really cool replay value for you to go back and watch those again, because those characters are not coming back. They're dead for sure, 100%. And that you got to spend this special time with them, and whichever ones maybe are your favorite could affect maybe which season you like the best. If you love to see Glenn, you're probably not going to like the show that much after the premiere for season 7, right? If maybe Abraham was your favorite because you thought it was really funny, you might really like seasons, the end of second half season 4 on up to the end of season 6, or start of season 7. So really cool stuff. Really enjoyed, favorite, or their favorite memories from the first 99. And it's something that I could look at. Some people have asked me, Trev, why don't you rank every episode of The Walking Dead, like 99 to 1 of which ones are the best? And God damn, that would take forever. But if you guys want to see that, I guess I could. But it'd probably take me like a week or two to put together, just because there's so many great episodes. And there's a few bad ones too. Where to place them and everything would just be really hard to break down for sure. So all I'm really saying is I love the favorite memories one, man. That's really, really a nice, quick, really cool look at the series. And, really, Hershel's got to be the star for that one for sure. So write your comments below. Let me know what you guys, how were the feels, emotions? Did they get you? They got me at the end of that clip, and that's to tell you it's put together well. Especially that it doesn't have any new footage in it. It's just, stuff that we've already seen, but just done really well. Next question is from Trevschanrules, and I don't favor him. He private messages me. Some of you guys, you ask questions, but you don't private message them to me. Go to the About tab in the channel. Send me a private message for your questions, guys. It's the best way. You can leave a comment too, but it's easier if you send me a private message. Then I can grab it and put it in a Q&A more easily. He says, Trev, at this point, would you say that you like Game of Thrones better than The Walking Dead? I can honestly say Game of Thrones Season 7 is 100 times better than The Walking Dead Season 7 was. So I get this sometimes. I get a lot of comparisons between the series, with Game of Thrones being really hot right now during the summer, having some really incredible episodes, some of the best they've done for sure, as Game of Thrones is always impressive. I don't see why we have to really compare and say, like, okay, this is better than Walking Dead, or Walking Dead is better than this, vice versa, and have fans go crazy at each other. For some reason, this happens year after year after year in my channel, and in the channel. It's your guys' channel too, because you steer it and everything, and you leave your comments and everything. In the channel, it does happen a lot that people compare. I'll do a Game of Thrones review where I'm really excited for it, and people will be like, asking some questions. There's another one here. Ryan Craig says, Trev, you say The Walking Dead is your favorite series, but you've never seen this hyped during those reviews as you are with the Game of Thrones reviews. So, this is the thing. Like I've said before, The Walking Dead is my all-time favorite series. For sure, it's my all-time favorite. There's no question about it. Are there some episodes and some seasons where objectively, so you get outside of yourself, you think about it in terms of production and everything, Game of Thrones does better in some, in a lot of episodes than The Walking Dead does. There's a lot of factors here to why that's probably true objectively. Number one, it's a subscription network, so you have to pay to be able to see Game of Thrones and HBO. So they have a lot more money to be able to put into production and be able to do what they want to do. They can have tons of CG and all this stuff, and, that's expensive as hell, but they can get it done because they've got a subscription model. So they get money from you. When you pay them directly. They get actual dollars directly. And then also the episodes are longer. You get hour-long block episodes versus Walking Dead's 42 minutes with commercials. You don't get any commercials during Game of Thrones. So, I'm not a bigger fan of Game of Thrones than I am The Walking Dead. I'm a bigger fan of Walking Dead than I am Game of Thrones. But I can also get, outside of myself and appreciate other series for what they are, right? And that's what it is. And try to not be subjective, try to be as objective as possible and look at them that way. So, as such, that's basically the case. Is that sometimes Game of Thrones is, I would say, objectively done better. Certainly, they put a lot more money. There's some seasons where they put $100 million into one season. But they can do that because it's a subscription model. AMC probably can't do that with The Walking Dead. You probably won't see a Walking Dead season that costs $100 million. I doubt it, even as big as it is, because advertising revenue is not the same as each person paying you like $20 a month or whatever it is, depending on where they live and everything, to be able to see HBO. So, it's not really fair to compare the two, but The Walking Dead is my favorite ever, Am I saying it's done better, the TV series is done better than, you can argue it. I'd say probably not over, for the most part. But at the same time, like I said, you're going to pay for it. You get what you pay for, right? You get Walking Dead basically for free with your cable, whereas HBO you got to pay. So you get what you pay for. It probably should be better because you're paying for that versus Walking Dead. You're basically getting it with your subscription, almost for free. I guess depends on what you have going. But so I hope that makes sense. I can enjoy both series, and I don't have to be like, oh, I'm only a Walking Dead fan. I like nothing else in the world. Only Walking... No. And none of you guys are like that either. There's other things you guys like and you talk about in comments and that. And I see that as well, too. So it doesn't have to be like that. And I can enjoy doing reviews of other series as well, too. When The Walking Dead eventually ends, I want to continue the channel. And, that's just what it is. I'll be reviewing other series. That's it. Even if it's not as much fun, still is what it is. So for Ryan's question here as well too, I do get pretty hyped during Game of Thrones reviews when they have really good episodes like Battle of the Bastards and the one we had this week, episode 4, but for season 7. But I get really hyped for Walking Dead too. I haven't been that hyped recently, but again, I'm honest with you guys, right? So when you get into the second half of season 7, when we got to the finale, I was hyped. but I wasn't like super hyped like I was for the premiere. The premiere of season 7, I'll tell you, Ryan, and for the rest of you guys, the premiere of season 7 was the most hyped episode of any series I've ever seen. It was more hype for me than any Game of Thrones episode, than anything that I've ever seen. Season 6 premiere was also insanely hyped. So, and if you watch some of my reviews for those episodes or my reactions for those, you'll see that, clearly I was more excited than I have been for just about anything from Game of Thrones or any other series out there. The Walking Dead is my all-time favorite, with certain episodes, No Way Out, season 7 premiere being some of the most hype I've ever been in my life, I mean, those were amazing for me, and I know for a lot of you guys they were as well too, some of the best parts. But it's not to say, and also when I do my reactions, I try not to overreact as well too, so you guys get to see my genuine reaction of how I'm genuinely feeling at that time when I'm watching it with you. It's not overemphasized or dramatically acted out in a different way. It's basically, it's real. It's just how I feel when I watch it. So is what it is. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that totally makes sense for you guys. We all have our favorites of different series. That's it. But we can always see sometimes. You watch the Shawshank Redemption. You would never say that objectively, Avengers is done better than the Shawshank Redemption. Like you wouldn't do that, because it's that's not even if it's fun and you enjoy it more. You can't, You guys get where I'm going with this one. Ethan Forley says, "Hey Trev, since Eugene is such a coward, do you think that if he arrived at Terminus on his own, that he would have instantly taken the opportunity to join them?" So that's a really tough one, because what Terminus was doing and everything was just so brutal. It was even worse than Negan, I want to say, because at least Negan's not going to eat you. He'll make you work, but he's not going to eat you. That's bad. But would Eugene? Yeah, he probably would have. He probably would have been so scared that if he had to, he probably would have done that. And the last one will be from Halo God 18, who says, "Hey Trev, I hope you're doing well, brother. I wanted to ask, do you think if The Walking Dead was picked up by HBO, do you think it would be as popular as it is now?" And my answer is, yeah, I think so. I think it would be just about as popular because they'd have more money to put into it. You'd have that subscription model and everything, so they could do it just as good as they do on AMC, maybe better because they'd have more money to work with. But at the same time, I'm really happy with how AMC does The Walking Dead. I really enjoy it a lot, and there's advantages to having it on regular cable because not that many people pay specifically for HBO versus regular, air cable TV or satellite with AMC. So that's what it is. Maybe it wouldn't be quite as popular because maybe not as many people would have seen it. But Game of Thrones is popular as hell. They get like 10 million views for the premiere for this season on a subscription network. I mean, just do the math. That's crazy money. So good for them, like a couple 100 million or whatever. So good for them. And if you guys like this video, then you can, of course, leave another comment, question, private message below. Let me know what you guys felt about that. Memories video is kind of cool, sentimental for me. And if you like this video, please thumb it up below. You can share and favorite. And if you're new and you want to subscribe to the channel, bottom left to sub. That's it for this one, guys. See you again soon for another video. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.
You better subscribe.